I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, we're taking a look at Firmware 2 Beta for the Fractal Audio VP4, which adds a whole host of new features, including an overhauled compressor block, as well as the new block swapping feature, which has been hotly requested on the physical hardware. Let's start with the block swapping feature. I'll show you how to use it and why you might be interested in trying it out when you're dialing in tones with the VP4. Here's a new preset that I put together using the new JFET Studio Compressor, the Color Tone Booster, a quad tap delay, and the new Vibrato King custom spring reverb. First, let's just hear what each element adds. Block swapping option is really easy to operate and also makes for a great quick comparison between effect order. So let's have a listen to the difference between running the compressor into the drive. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the enter button over here and use the select button to swap the two blocks just like that. It's probably easier with two hands, but I find that pressing with my pointer finger and using my thumb and middle finger works quite nicely on here. So we'll hear compressor into drive, then drive into compressor. You're going to hear immediately that the tone is very different. That's pretty interesting because my instinct would normally be to run a compressor into a drive, but in that case, I actually preferred the sound of the drive into the compressor. So I'm going to leave those two blocks where they are. On this scene, I have dialed in a 1210 style chorus with the multi-tap delay. Then I've got the Stratocumulus reverb. I want to hear the difference between running chorus into reverb and reverb into chorus. By having this block swapping function on here, it makes the comparison quick and easy. VP4 Edit has also had some nice updates as well. My favorite being in Expert Edit, you now have the blocks represented up here. So if you're used to going through here in the VP4 and editing your blocks by just clicking on each of them, but you wanted to go deep and dial in a bunch of advanced parameters using Expert Edit, you can do the same thing here. So this is one of my favorite ways to use the new JFET Studio Compressor and updated optical compressor. It's stacking them into one another, and I'm going to live in this Expert Edit over here. So you can see I'm using the JFET Studio Compressor. The threshold is at -50, ratio is at 6. I don't have anything happening with the side chaining, but I might play around with the mix control over here. I've turned the level up to 9 dB on here. Let's have a listen to what this sounds like on the neck pickup on its own. Being able to live in Expert Edit and move blocks around and engage them is a great little feature on there. For example, I think what I'd like is a little more output from this opto comp over here. So let's take that up to around 6.5, 7 dB. Then I'm going to play with the mix and the low cut on the first compressor, the JFET in there. So let's have a listen to what that does. Then I'll kick in some drive and some delay while I'm living here in Expert Edit. More about the updated compressors, I'd recommend you go and check out the video that I did when they were added to the Axe-Fx 3, because these same blocks and the same updates have now been added to the VP4. My favorite trick though is using the VP4 with the Rock Guy compressor. I've just cranked up the compression and the tone, a little bit of this analog stereo chorus, and a little bit of dual delay on here with a 200-ish millisecond delay time, and running it DI to emulate the old Rockman Clean 2 preset. This is guitar, VP4, nothing else. This is still a beta release, so try it at your own risk. Be sure to always back up your Fractal products using FractalBot before you do any update. But if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section below, and let me know how you're enjoying the tones of your VP4. And I'll see you all on the next one.